Hello. Introduced plants and animals from other countries. Definition. An introduced species is a species which lives outside its native environment and has arrived in this new environment by human activity. This human activity can be deliberate or accidental. It can be through commerce and the pet trade. Non-native species may have a negative effect on the local ecosystem or very little effect. An invasive species is one which becomes established in its new place but spreads to other places. Biocontrols are when a species has been introduced to combat pests in agriculture. This species is perhaps a better alternative to pesticides. The tiger mosquito, sheatfish, the red kite introduced for conservation in Scotland and England. Rats, stoats and possums have caused the decline in flightless birds who lay their eggs on the ground in New Zealand. Rats alone kill 20 kiwis a week in New Zealand. There are organisations which go out and kill these predator animals in this country. Other introduced species include the Asiatic hornet, the grey squirrel, the river rat, the cane toad in Australia and fruit flies. Giant mice have decimated colonies of albatross in some islands. The albatross. Rats in New Zealand that have been killed. Motivations for intentional introduction. Intentional introduction of invasive species is usually economic. Examples are soybeans, kiwi fruit, wheat, honeybees, livestock and turkey. Human enjoyment. Many fish and game animals have been introduced for sport fishing and hunting. Pets such as feral cats and parrots and parakeets have escaped and formed flocks. These flocks attack and kill the native bird species. Wild parakeets in Richmond Park, London. Kudzu, introduced for erosion control. Addressing environmental problems. Intentional introductions are also taken to better environmental problems. Kudzu has been introduced for erosion control. Another is the reintroduction of a species that is endangered or extinct in the interests of conservation. An example of conservation is the reintroduction of the red kite to parts of England and Scotland and wolves in Europe. Prevention of further invasion of exotic creatures. In the interests of contributing to the protection of biodiversity, scientists have agree that the following steps should be taken. Prevent the introduction of new species. International trade and travel provides opportunities for exotic species to be carried to other countries. Governments should introduce the release of these organisms reduce the release of these organisms into new environments by closer inspection of pallets, containers and other international shipping materials at ports of departure and arrival. Inspection should look for insects, seeds and other organisms. Some ecologists and government officials ask for tougher fines and imprisonment for those transporting, buying or selling illegal exotic pets. How to combat invasive species. Help stop the introduction and spread of invasive species. Help protect native plants and animals using the following guidelines. Plant native plants in your garden. If you are sailing, Clean your boat before you transport it to a different body of water. Clean your boots or shoes before you hike in a new area so you do not transport weed seeds and pathogens to the new area. Don't transport fruit, vegetables, plants, insects or animals because they may become invasive. Don't move firewood because it can contain forest pests. Don't release aquarium fish and plants, live bait, or other exotic animals into the wild. Volunteer in your area to help remove invasive species. Bye-bye.